welcome to the Daily Recall Show. I'm your host, Vasily, and today you will learn how to discover new knowledge by always looking beyond the fact that you see and identifying the principle behind the fact, and then by leveling up through different tiers of this principle to understand what's an even upper level behind the principle that you have identified. Let me tell you a story so that we can make some things clear. Yesterday I was standing in line to get my morning coffee. And there was a girl in front of me and she was buying her cappuccino or something, and she was considering purchasing a cake to augment her experience of having that coffee in the morning. And then the waitress actually said something in the lines of, "Oh, we've got the last piece of carrot cake left." And the girl got extremely excited when she said that, and she was like, "Yeah, sure, give me that carrot cake." So that's an example of a fact that you can get from the world. So I was standing there in line and I was listening to the conversation, and then I immediately thought the first thing that I did, and that I thought, okay, and what's the principle behind this fact? So she somewhat decided to go for this carrot cake instead of other options. What's the principle? Why did she choose that? And that's how I arrived to understand that there is the thing called the scarcity effect, which says that people are actually more willing to go for an option when there is less available. So that's how you level up from the fact that you pick up in the world to a principle that's way more interesting, because the principle has many different applications. And you can start picking up examples of these principles, and you can start thinking, okay, are there any other applications of this principle in the world that I have seen in the past or that I can think of, right? That's how you enrich the principle. And whenever you pick up a principle from anywhere, from the girl buying her carrot cake, or from reading a book, or from listening to this video, what you do is you transform factual knowledge into conceptual knowledge. So you create your own knowledge from this piece of someone else. And this principle that you picked up, it actually kind of like swallows this fact, and the fact becomes just an application of the principle. That's how you get to think for yourself. That's how you get to think new thoughts. But this is not the most interesting idea about this new knowledge discovery. The most interesting thing is that once you picked up the principle, you can level up and you can go through different tiers. So just coming back to our carrot cake example, whenever I understood that the principle was actually that there is the scarcity effect thing, which states that people are more willing to purchase stuff when there is less available, then I actually did a level up on that. And I asked, okay, are there any different principles that determine how people buy things? That's how you get to arrive that there are different principles on this level, right? This principle belongs to this different level, and there are different other principles that determine purchasing behavior of a person. For example, another really interesting one is that usually high price kind of signifies higher quality when it might not be the case at all. So that's another principle that determines human purchasing behavior. And by doing this jumping back and forth between levels, you can actually get to discover a lot more knowledge, right? And you can invert things, you can ask the opposite questions, you can do all those things. But then you can actually level up a little bit more and ask, okay, and if this level of how humans decide to buy things, what's the next tier above this? What's the next level that we can arrive to if we do this tiering, leveling up thing? And the next level is how humans decide in general. And that's a wide topic, right? Because humans decide not to only buy things, but humans decide to sell things, for example, that they need or don't need for some reason. Humans decide to marry other humans. Humans decide to fire people, to hire people. There are different decisions that we make. And that's how you get to enrich your knowledge, by doing this leveling process through different tiers. So just to recap, Whenever you stumble upon some knowledge gem, it's really a gem, but it's like unpolished and dirty. And your first idea should be to always ask what's the principle behind the fact and try to identify the conceptual knowledge behind the factual knowledge. And then try to follow this different like leveling process and try to go up, try to see what's behind this, what's the above level of knowledge that of the principle that you discovered. That's how you get to discover new knowledge and to think new thoughts. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.